Welcome back to the Crochet Chronicles, my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we are going to do a double wrapped loom knit adult hat. You can also double wrap a baby hat as well. So why I would want to double wrap versus putting two strands in order to compensate for the size is that the yarn color here is really quite unique. So it does a transition on its own. So if you add a secondary ball, the transition that you see within this can be ruined. So you could actually have this transition in your hat, but you just have to be strategic about it, and it's called double wrapping. So instead of double stranding, we're only gonna be using one strand at a time, and I'm gonna show you how to do that next. So without further ado, let's just get ourselves started, and I'm going to load up my empty pen, and we only need one of those, and we're just going to begin our journey. The first thing that we should do is load up our feeder. So it's just an empty pen. I just used a spare piece of wire, and I'm just going to put the yarn through the eye of the wire and then pull it through. So it's kinda hard to push yarn through one of these. So if you can pull it back, it's awesome. So then put the wire aside for now. So now we're going to create a slip knot. I'm going to pretend that you are a beginner, so you can fast forward if you need to. But if to start and you're a beginner, here's the strand. I want you to point your finger here and play the game of leapfrog. So just wrap the finger twice. I'm gonna show this several times, and then pinch, and then take the back one of your hand and leapfrog it over the other one, but don't go over top of your finger. And this froggy here is so upset that it just got hopped over. It jumps over the new one, and it jumps too far, and it goes right up over top of your finger, and that there is your first slip knot. So let me show you slower. So point your finger and grab in your yarn and wrap it around. Okay, so point and wrap around. Pinch the back of your hand, so play the game of leapfrog. So this one's gonna jump over the other frog, and then this one's so upset that it just got jumped over. It jumps and it gets too excited and jumps over top. Okay, so wrap twice, play the game of leapfrog, and this here is your starting slip knot. So I want you to put this onto the loom and look for this piece here. If I'm right-handed, I work towards the left. If you're left, you'll work the other way. So I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna put it on the left-hand side of this, and I'm going to feed it on, so the knot on, and then pull. Don't pull that it's so tight that it's gonna, you can't get it off. Now we're going to start the e-wrapping process in a double wrap format. Pull the pen so that you have it so the string is pulling back, and you're going to jump to the next one. So you're gonna stay on the inside and go around this one. So come out to the outside and then just wrap and go back to the inside and then jump round and through. You're forming the letter E, and you're going to go all the way around. Stay towards the bottom of your pegs when you go to do this, because you are going to do a double wrap. So E-wrap, this is called E-wrapping, all the way around, staying towards the bottom of the peg, and meet me back here in just a moment. Now coming up to the last one, so normally what I would do is that I would circle around and stay towards the outside after I was done, but I'm not going to in this case because I'm double wrapping and I'm also casting on. So what I want to do is make sure all of these loops are at the base of the peg. The next set that goes in, so you're going to start with the next one, and you're gonna circle, stay right just above the other one. So these two strands are going to work together as one stitch. So when you're double wrapping, you've essentially gone around twice, but these stitches will stay together. These loops will stay together as one stitch. So E-wrap again. This is the second time of 4. So I've just gone around now twice. I need to go around 2 more times. So the next round, just stay on top so that it builds it up. So it'll be the third wrap of 4. So please continue to do that and wrap one more time. This is the third time, and then we're gonna do the fourth time, which will be a charm. So I've now just wrapped a total of 3 times. I gotta do one more. If everything is working in sets of 2, this is the fourth one, which will be the second part, which is finishing the second set of 2. So this is the fourth time to wrap. Please do that. And now this is the fourth time around. So in the fourth time, bring your yarn to the outside and just hold on to it, because if you let it go, it's gonna unwrap itself and turn the loom upside down. and just using your thumb just pinch that yarn to the ring. And then grabbing your pick tool, I want you to grab the two bottom ones. When I say bottom, the loom is upside down, so just think about these rings. And so grab these two up here and pull over top of the other two and also the peg. That's the last one that was wrapped, therefore you can let that go. This will not unspin itself. So starting in the next one, just grab the two and go up over top, and then using your thumb push back down. And I want you to go all the way around. You've just now are doing the cast on process, and I will see you at the end of this round. And you'll notice that the yarn color will start transitioning on its own automatically without ruining the look of the yarn. So I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've now successfully knitted and did the cast on with the double wrap method. So normally when you're doing this with this size loom, you would have to double strand to make up for the thickness unless you're using chunky yarn. So in this case, the next revolution that we're about to do, the next considered row or round, is that you would have to double wrap. So starting in the very first peg, see where you stopped? So starting in the first one is that you want to wrap your loom twice. Stay towards the top of the peg. So when you get all the way around, wrap one more time. So now just come all the way around, stay towards the outside and flip the loom and pinch just to hold that. So you will see that you have the two here. That's the one that's gonna jump over top, and then you have the two that you just double wrapped. So you're taking these two, this is the last one that you wrap, so knit that first so that it can secure it, and then use your thumb to push back, and then you're gonna go all the way around. So I'm going to finish this round, and then I'm gonna talk to you, and we're gonna do the brim then after that. So I'll see you back at the end of this round in just a second. So I've just now finished the next round. So what I want to do is that I want to show you how to be able to count the number of rounds in order to do your brim. So you don't have to use a tape measure, but you can actually just continually knit, and then I'll show you what to look for so that you can speed up your time. If you see really carefully, do you see how two strands are together as one? That's considered one. The next one, there's another two strands, this is considered two, and then there's another one that just slightly below it, and that would be three. So you're technically, when you start the next round, you'll be on number 4. You need to have 17 of these crossing overs in order to complete the brim. So what I would do, what I do is that I just be able to continually knit. Now as you get bigger, you're going to see this, it's gonna be like a spider web, and you'll see all of them, and you'll be able to physically count those. So what I want you to do is that if you want to record the rounds, you're technically starting number 4. So write 1, 2, and 3 is done, and then I want you to finish so that you see 17 of these cross strands going across. So continue knit, and I'll see you when 17 are done, and that'll just be a second from now. But in the meantime, I'll play behind the scenes. When I last left you, we were knitting, and so we have 17 rounds done, and if you pull it apart and I let the light go behind, you see it's like a spider web. So each one of those joins is considered one. So you got 1, 2, 3. So I have 17. So what I want you to do is that we want to fold the brim up so that the brim is permanent, and you will notice that the yarn actually looks like the yarn ball itself because it's going in sequence. See, so we've maintained the color. So we know that we started here, it's on this side of the notch, that the slip knot is right there. So the slip knot is going to act as your first one. So what I want you to do is put the slip knot cross strand onto that. Now it's double stranded, so there's going to be a total of 2 strands that make up one cross strand. Okay, so you can either use your tool and you can grab the next sequence up, so just kind of fold it in a way that it makes sense. Okay, so you're gonna pull up the next cross strand. This is gonna appear on the inside of the hat, so if you get the wrong one, it's probably not gonna matter, but it's pretty easy to tell. So once you get the first few on there, you'll be able to get that. Just kind of roll it back and put it on. And I want you to go all the way around, putting on the last cross strands on the loom, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Now before you finish, I want you to take the starting strand itself and tuck it inside of the hat. So tuck it in the brim and then do the last few that are left. Usually I do it when I was in the beginning, but I forgot. So I can do it right at the end and just place in the last few that go right up over the last few pegs. If you are missing one, which is very possible, just grab something and put it on. This is the inside of the hat, so if you have to fake something, that's the chance to do it. I want you to turn up the loom now, and I want you to push everything straight down flat as far as you can, and we're going to double wrap the next one, which will then secure this brim permanently into position. And let's begin. So let's grab our tool and double wrap once again. So you already know how to double wrap. Just grab it and just go around twice, and then I'll be back in just a moment. So just start e-wrapping. So I've come all the way around. I've now e-wrapped, so there's a lot of stuff here on the loom. So we have the brim that's been folded over, we have the original wrap, and now we have the new wrap. So we have to bring these two layers right up over top of the peg, going over the top. Now in the beginning you should be able to grab all of it at the same time, but the beginning one is always a little tough. So just grab the first one, which is in the middle, and just pull it over, and then you can go back and grab here. So you might be able to grab all 4 strands in the future as you're going. So the first one is always loose, so you can probably scoop up underneath all 4 and drag it over like that. And what we're doing is that we're securing this all into place. So I want you to do that all the way around, and then I'm gonna show you a little technique of putting in a stitch marker so you can count much easier before you start the next process of the body of the hat. So I've now just put everything in, so the brim is now a permanent fold. Now before you begin your next part, I need you to grab another piece of yarn, and it's got to go all the way around the loom here, and it's gonna be red in this case. So this is gonna be what is called as a stitch marker that will make it easier for you to count. So we have to start counting from this point. So all I want you to do is just weave this in and out of the pegs all the way around, and I'll explain more in just a moment. So just keep on going around. So what I want you to do, once you have it wrapped, just push that down too. So this one is called the stitch marker, and this is going to indicate and making it easier for us to count. So when we go to e-wrap the next round, we want to stay above it. So we're gonna double wrap like we have been. So go around twice, and then meet me back here in just a moment. I'll show you what to do with that red as we're moving around this loom. So I've now just e-wrapped, I double wrapped, and what I need to do is that I need to toss the red over with it. The red is gonna pull out, so it's not gonna stay there forever. So starting in the first one, which is the last one that we wrapped so that it will go over, I want you to push the red over, and I want you to take that over as well to the bottom. Okay. So then I want you to take the next one and go over, and then take the next one and the red and go over. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna hold that in position so that you'll be able to count your rows really easily from this point. So it's something that I would do, and it's of course up to you. So just knit all the way around and meet me back here in just a moment. So now I've knit around and the stitch marker is in place. I need you to continually knit now until you can do 25 rounds if you're looking for a man size. A lady size is about 23 rounds. So instead of counting those rounds individually on a piece of paper, this here will mark where you need to stop counting. So from this point forward there should be 25 rounds for men, 23 for women's, and if you want to change the size, then obviously you can change the number of rounds. So when I come back I'll have that done for you. I am doing this for me, so there'll be 25 rounds between here and where I will be. So this will be sinking down in behind, and then we'll carry on our journey for this tutorial in a bit. So I'll see you in just a few seconds from now, but I got some homework tonight to do in front of the TV. So now I'm back and I have everything done. So I have my 25 rounds done. I can count, and if you pull it apart, see these pieces? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count 25 of those all the way back to the stitch marker that has been in place. It's now time to end the journey. So I'm going to cut this strand about 2 feet, if a little bit longer, it's up to you. It will be pulled tight in the end. So just don't put on that feet marker or yarn feeder any longer. So let's just clean off our desk and let's begin. Now if you are casting off, which is what we're doing, is that it's easier to turn the loom upside down like we've been loom knitting the whole time. So this is where we finished. So I want to start in the next one that's available, and it's easier if you turn this upside down and let this strand just fall naturally down. and you're going to take the tapestry needle and you're going to go to the next one, scoop up underneath it like this, and make sure that this yarn here that's dangling will stay in front, and then it won't tangle, and then just pull through like that, and you want to take that off. So usually what I do is I pull it off at the same time as I'm pulling through, so just do that. Okay, so that's completely off that piece, and now that will hold there. So you'll go to the next one, so scoop it. So here's what I would do, scoop it off, and then I go around this, and I'm only going around that so it doesn't tangle, because if you don't go around it you'll find out pretty quickly. So scoop and pull off and stay behind that other dangling yarn. Go all the way around please, and I'll meet you back here in just a moment. Okay. Coming to my very last one, I'm just gonna take this one off and coming through. So now the loom is done, so you can put that aside, and before I get all excited and pull it, just make my room clear. And so all I'm just going to do is just pull, and this will close down the top. So just kind of pull, 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 pull. Give it a good pull. Okay, so it should be nice and tight. So what I would like to do then is that I go across, so wherever I finished I go directly across. Just stay on the top, make sure you are grabbing onto something, and go back to where that's coming back out. So go directly across, and then pull it again really tight. Now I'm going to go over to the side and go across this side. So I'm creating a cross shape on the top, and now I'm gonna go down through the hat. So just putting your hand on the inside and pulling it through. Now that you pulled it, that really long strand is suddenly really long. Okay, so pull it nice and tight, and now this side I want you to tie a knot. So I'm a pom-pom lover. You can add a pom-pom to the top of this if you really wanted to. So I have been using the Bernat Wavelength yarn, so I have enough yarn to be able to do a pom-pom, so I might do that for myself because it would look better in my point of view going into a donation box with a nice beautiful pom-pom on it. And I have the extra yarn, so I might as well use it, right? So once it's tied and you're happy with it, then you should be able to cut it relatively short, and this stitch marker, just pull on it and it should easily come out like that, and then put it the other way. And I realized when I double wrapped, this looks completely different from double stranding, and I'll share about that in another video. But this is it for now. This is the double wrapped loom knit hat. Have a good one, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye bye.